In this Track and Trade High Finance Trading training video, I want to talk to you about what we call the control panel. Now the control panel is over here on the left hand side of the screen, and it's this window with all the tabs across the top. Now the first tab is where we see the contracts that we have open. So you can see that we have gold, and we have General Motors and Google and International Business Machines, which is IBM and Microsoft, and then you can see their changes in little arrows here. Now if you want to get another contract open, of course all you do is come up here to the symbol window, and you can type in the symbol if you know the symbol. If you don't know the symbol, you can look it up. And of course down here is a list of previously opened symbols. So we can come in and say look up symbol, and maybe we want to look up a Red Hat. And as the software searches, it'll look up Red Hat. And these are the different contracts that fall underneath the word Red Hat. Well, we want the one over here on the NASDAQ called RHAD, so we can just double click on that. It opens up Red Hat and puts it into the list. Now we also have the ability of looking at contracts or looking at charts, multiple charts at the same time. So if we come up here, you'll notice up here in the right hand corner we have three different indicators. One is that we want to close this chart down and not have it displayed over here in the chart window, but yet it's still active in the control panel. Let's do that with Red Hat. If we click that one, you'll notice that it goes away, and the next one is Google that was in the list, but Red Hat is still in our list over here in the control panel, but notice the little icon that says it's grayed out, which means it's not actively over here being displayed. Now if we want to bring it back, we just double click on it and it opens it back up. Now, if we want to see all the charts that are in the list simultaneously, we can push the second button over here, which, see, you can see that this draws all the charts in the window. And this is how we get all the charts that are over here in the left-hand window, all to be displayed at the same time. Now, if you choose any one chart and you want to bring it back to full screen mode, it's very simple. Just come back here and click this button right here in the center again, and it'll put it back to full screen mode. Very easy. Now if you want to get rid of the chart altogether, you can just hit the X key and that closes it out. It closes the chart and takes it away from our window over here. To bring it back, again, you just have to RHAT in the symbol search and it will bring it back and put it back in the list. Now, Track and Trade is what we call a build-as-you-go database. That means that any contract that you want to have, all you have to do is type in the symbol. It will go out to the internet. You have to be connected to the internet. It'll go out to the internet, connect with our servers, and it will download all the history for that contract. And once you have that history, it's on your computer and you don't have to download that history ever again. So it makes opening up those charts very fast. And when you first open the software, if you're not connected to the internet, let's say you're on an airplane and you want to look at your Red Hat chart, you can work in offline mode. You then still have access to that data. You don't have to be connected to the internet to see it. Now, one of the ways that you can manage your database, your build-as-you-go database, is you can come up here to File, come down here to Manage Local Cache, click on that, and it opens up a list of all the contracts that you've opened. Now, if you decide you don't want one anymore, you say, well, I opened up this chart, and I'm not going to ever open it or use it again, and I don't need to keep it on my hard drive. All you have to do is click on it and hit Delete Selected. Or, of course, you can select several of them by holding down the Control key and then hitting Delete Selected, and then the chart goes away. Now you hit OK, and you've deleted those out of your database or out of your cache. They're no longer on your hard drive. If you try to open them up again, it will have to be connected to the internet to go out and download the history once again. Now next time you open up the chart, it will grab whatever information or whatever data you have on your hard drive. It will then load it into the software, and whatever it doesn't have, as long as you're connected to the internet and have an active account, it will go out to the internet and update that chart and bring it current. Of course, you also have the ability of going in and seeing charts on an intraday basis. We can come down to as much as a 1-minute chart. And you can see down here we're downloading from the server the 1-minute chart. And then there you have the 1-minute ticks from Red Hat. We can also go to 5-minute or 10-minute or 15-minute. And I'm going to show you those are actually user definable, and you can set them to be whatever you want. Hours or 12 minutes or 6 minutes or whatever you want, you can set those. Of course, we also have our daily tab, our weekly tab, and our monthly tab. Now let's say we put this back on daily, and we go back and we bring up all the charts on the screen again, and you can see we've deleted some of these out of here, so they got blank spots. And what we can do is we can move some of these around. We can say, I want this one to be down here, or I want this one to be down here. But anyway, you can come through here and you can play with the software in that regard and move your charts around to different areas just by clicking and dragging them to the different places, and it'll trade places on the screen. Now, the next tab that I want to talk about is the Reports tab. So we can come in here, and on the first Reports tab we can select whichever market we want. Let's go up here and let's go to the New York Stock Exchange. Let's go to the specific report. Let's come down here and let's go to the most active trading high. And we click on that, and it goes out and it brings down this report. It tells us the most active contracts trading at new highs on the New York Stock Exchange. Now, this is our scanning capabilities. Now, this has gone out to the server. It's done this research for you, and it's coming back and giving you a list. Now, all you have to do is just double-click on any one of these, and it will open it up and fill the gaps into the small window. So there's FTO. If you want to see it full screen, you can click on it full screen and then look at it in this regard. Or we can go back to the small screen and we can open up another one. What is another one we might want to look at? There's CMC, and we can double click it, and it's opening it up and it's downloading the data. Now I have all the history on CMC, or Daily Commercial Metals. Now next time I want to open up Daily Commercial Metals, I don't have to go out to the server to get it. I only have to go out to the server to get what data I don't have. So it'll be much quicker than on the second go around. Now that we've seen the Reports module, let's go over to the key. Now the key goes and tells us all the pertinent information that we need to know about any contract. And you'll notice when I click on it, it comes over and it changes. It tells us what exchange it's on, it tells us the SIC codes, it tells us all kinds of information about this individual contract. It tells us outstanding shares, what the market closed at, the QSIP number, all kinds of information about whatever you want to know about this individual contract. The next one is the News tab. Now this is a very unique tool which allows us to go out and get our news. This is our News tab. So we come in here and we have a number of pre-built different news organizations, and we can come in here and click on those, and it's going to populate your News tab with the different news articles. Now this is from Reuters, and you can see it's populated with all the most recent news articles, and we can click on those and it comes up and it fills this information in right on the screen, and we can see all the news from Reuters. If we want to see Chrysler to produce a Dodge Challenger muscle car, then we've got our Reuters news right here on the screen. So we've got a news reader from whatever organization you want. Now this works on RSS feeds, and RSS feeds are generally free from all these sources, so you don't have to pay any kind of a subscription fee to get the news from Reuters or Forbes or Bloomberg. If you want to see the Bloomberg news, you just click on Bloomberg, and it'll pull it up, and there's your Bloomberg news. Now, if you want to add or remove one of these news providers, it's very simple. All you have to do is come in here and right-click in this screen, and this is where you add or delete news providers. And now most RSS feeds from these types of organizations are free. There's no fee for them. There are some that are paid subscription services, and if you subscribe to one, you can put it right in here. And this is the way you get your news in Track and Trade. The next tab is one of our most important tabs, and it's the Features tab, or what we call the Settings tab for all the different charts. Now let's come in here and let's pull up one chart full screen, and you can see that when I click on the chart, it pulls up this window. If I click on an indicator, this window changes over to the indicator settings. If I want to go back to the settings of the main chart, I just click on the main chart and it turns it back to the settings for the main chart. This is where we go through and we do all the different settings, like the weekly settings, what we want the charts to look like, where we set the number of minutes for the intraday tabs. This is where we set the colors for the rulers and the charting colors and the price bar colors. This is mostly our color settings and our initial default settings. Once we have that set up the way we want it, we just hit Save as Default, and that saves our changes the way we want it, and any chart we open up from that point forward will have that look and feel. Now this is also where we get all the different settings for our different tools. Let's say we want to click on the Trend tool. So if we click on the Trend tool, notice that the Trend tool settings automatically pop up in the window. And then we come down and we draw our Trend tool. Now if we want to go up and we want to draw a channel tool, or if we want to draw a triangle tool, we click on the triangle and notice that the triangle settings come up in the window, and we can draw on the triangle. Now let's say I'm over here drawing on the triangle, but I want to get back to my my line tool settings for this line. All I have to do is click on it and notice it changes back over automatically for me. Now I've also got the bulls and bears indicator on here. All I have to do to get to the bulls and bears setting, see right down here in the little bottom right corner of the screen, this tells you which overlay indicators are turned on. The overlay indicators, of course, on the right click menu are these indicators right here. So whichever ones I have turned on, let's say I have the alligator turned on and I have the bulls and bears turned on. Whichever one I want to have the settings for, all I have to do is click on it over here. So if I want to go to bulls and bears, it changes the bulls and bears settings over here in the control panel. If I want to go back to the alligator, I just click on the alligator and it goes back to the alligator. Let's say I don't want the alligator on my screen anymore. I can simply right click on the AL over here and turn it off. And I can do that, or I can right click on the screen and turn it off this way. So then I want to go back to the settings for my triangle tool. I just click on the triangle tool and there's my settings for the triangle tool again. That's the features of the control panel. Now let's go to the next feature. This is the data tab. This is the tab that controls all the data that's available to create this chart. And we can come down here and we can scroll down through all that data. And that's data available to you. That's what we download off the internet whenever you open up a chart. And you can export the data if you would like, or you can print the data. It's up to you. You can take it into a spreadsheet if that's what you want to do. We also have 4-digit precision. Now some markets we need to have 4-digit precision. In the Forex market, for example, we need to have 4-digit precision. But in the stock market, we don't. So we have the ability of turning that on and turning that off. If you click that, it's going to take all of your columns and give you 4-digit precision on the decimal point. Notice it also put 4-digit precision over here on the price column, down in the price column this way. So you can see over here we have 4-digit precision. Now if we turn that back off, it goes away. Again, that's something you're going to need and is set in the Forex version of the software. Now let's come back, and the last tab I want to talk about is the Notes tab. Now this is for you to come in and type notes. So if we're talking about General Motors, this is where you can write down notes about what happened on General Motors. So you can say, I was looking at General Motors and I saw a triangle pattern on April 1st of 2006. And so you can go through and write whatever notes you want to make about whatever you're thinking as you work up your trading strategy. And then those notes will remain with General Motors. And every time you come back to General Motors, if you want to see the notes that you wrote about it, you just click the Notes tab and those notes will remain there with General Motors. And those are some of the features in Track and Trade High Finance and the control panel.